each other. Can Queso then extend their lead at the top of EU? Can Cream get another one back and try and keep hold of where they are and cement their place in the finals and a better position for it? We'll go pick and bans.
And yes, Cream can, Matt, because they're going to put Frost on Murad, and he's going to go crazy on his Murad because he has a phenomenal Murad. Because honestly, the Ryoma jungle just did not work out for them. They didn't do much, if anything, in the early game. And as a result, nothing really happened for them. Darcy got too late, and of course, Team Queso is going to ban the Archmages away.
So Team Queso respect that. The Teamy comes through as the first ban, and I think that's because of the full CC comp that TQ ran so well last game, but I don't think it's nearly as relevant if you don't have the punish for it.
And also, Teamy, he gives that passive, his passive gives extra additional gold when the minions or monsters are killed around him, so that actually enabled Darcy and Ibuchichi to get that gold advantage just a little bit quicker, especially early to mid, so that you can get to Darcy to that mid phase. And I love that. That's the ban you do on red side, guys. Darcy and Florentino, please.
This does mean Sephra will come through. Cream Esports, I think, will be all right with that. Richter will come out in answer for Team Queso. And I do think Sephra is slightly more powerful than Richter these days, but that's an acceptable trade because nobody got Darcy or Florentino.
Yeah, Sephra would be the pick because you can flex her as a support as well as a mid laner. Jungle, no. It didn't work. They tried it.
We saw it.
She's not.
Everyone could be a jungler.
She was the best. She was the best mage last week, but sorry, she's not Darcy.
Hold on a minute, TJ's face. Never mind the idea that everyone can be a jungler. Toro can be a hero in the Valor series.
I've kind of been believing in Tora lately. I've been playing a lot of Tora solo queue. I don't think he's competitively viable, but I would have appreciated it.
So Team Queso has gotten their 2 power dual picks. Last week, they have consistently drafted this. Is that Tulin with a net or sometimes Sephra if she's open. But Tulin and net has been kind of their signature because they can do so much work in the mid lane and abuse the early game power that gives them.
It is going to be a Tulin from Ruiz into Alex P's Sephra, though, and that's pretty fun.
It is going to be very fun, and I'm interested to see if the noob, please, the noob, pick your bottom. It's going to be banned if you don't take it. Take it right now. Give bottom to the noob, and then put Mr. Frost on that Murad, and I think they have a chance to win this game against Team Queso. And they're going to be thinking about it right now. And I think that's the right call.
The Varus currently hovered. Memorized on that Annette is pretty important as well. Like you touched on, it means that they can ban out supports during the second phase, but it also means that Memorized is getting one of his best characters.
Okay, so we get Verez and Richter locked in, which is neither of the ones you were talking about them needing to grab now, CJ.
They do. Baldom, I mean, my ideal composition for Cream is Baldom on the noob. They still have available. Oxy should take Ryoma, which they don't have that option unless they run Ryoma mid. Oh no, they're going to take it away.
Sideline Baldom again.
I told you guys to take it. I knew it. But wow, that's very smart. That sideline Baldom actually works.
Yavex felt good on it last game. Why not repeat it?
Wow. What a draft by Team Queso. They've really thought this through because, again, the noob just shined on Baldom. Like, you need to prioritize it, the noob on Baldom, because he literally carried his team last weekend on that Baldom.
The one option that we haven't discussed is that the noob could run the Sephra.
Right.
You could put Alex P on Liliana or on Raz in the mid lane and still have him put him a very solid performance, and you'd have extra damage from the noob running that Sephra in the support role.
Definitely. Lindis surprisingly not picked up here earlier, and she's been kind of phase 1 banned and now soaring up in the phase 2 ban. I'm very curious to see like why when she's open, she's not picked up.
I think it was just a function of these compositions. There were so many other powerful things that came through. The only thing I think could have been traded out for Lindis would have been TQ's Baldom pickup, but that's a very specific target pickup, so they felt it was more important.
But if they hadn't banned out Baldom, do you think Cream would have banned it? Wouldn't they have just got a chance to pick it later?
Yeah, Cream would have taken it for sure for noob. And right now they're target banning each other. They're target drafting and target banning, taking Baldom away from them, and also banning Morin, because Lilu, they cannot give Lilu Morin. But you have to think about like Superman too. Superman with Baldom actually works really well. So is Lilu going to pick that Superman? Ryoma again still open. That could also be an option for Team Queso, but I doubt it. They're going to put Lilu on a much higher ADC champion that can carry into a late game.
What do you feel about Violet getting banned out?
This is a ranged jungle focused. And that says to me that Team Queso are going to be running an assassin in their own jungle, and they're worried about the scaling late game damage that Cream could pull out with either a Violet or a Lindis. Cream Esports, though, kind of interestingly, banned out the Morin of their own, so they don't seem too focused on it either. I think if TQ want to pick up a ranged character, it comes in the form of a Wisp or a Telenas in the side lane right now.
Yeah, what also Team Queso can do if they want to try things, switch things up, and what NA did, Blue Martini, is run Tulin side lane, but it looks like they're going to actually be smart here. Again, deny a key pick from Cream here by taking Ryoma away from... Actually, no, it wouldn't matter because Oxy is not going to play Ryoma because they'll need the jungle if they do pick Ryoma here. I would love to see, again, Frost on one of his best carries, like a Murad, for example, that would work well into this composition.
We'll have to see if Frost can get that. For now, there's no jungle locked in for Cream Esports. Team Queso do get that Ryoma, presumably to run in jungle, though could also be in side lane for Oxy. They still have that flexibility in the jungle side lane role, which gives them a lot of power going forward.
You can see here they're really thinking about their picks here. I would love to see Liliana Murad. This is a composition that they ran last weekend that worked really well for them. And you can see that Alex P's Liliana is very solid. Maybe they could also go for a Kali, but I feel like Liliana would make a lot more sense because she would outscale the Tulin. She'll struggle against Tulin in early, and they would run Sephora support, which I think would work. So
I'd prefer Alex P to get himself a high mobility mage here and start challenging and put that Sephora in support, because I simply don't see what else they could run in support that would give the noob the tools he needs.
Yeah, Wiz is an interesting pickup. I feel like if Tel Honest is open, she's probably better. Oh, there's the Kali coming out. I do like their thinking process there and picking up that Kali, because late game, oh my god, the whiffs and the Kali, that's going to be such a huge damage output.
They have a really good team fight setup, but they're relying on this Sephora to be their tank. To me, this says if Cream get to late game ahead, they dominate. But if they fall behind at any point in the game, I think it's going to be kind of difficult for Cream to turn it round.
Yeah, and then
Valheim completes it for Queso, so the picks are in. I am confused.
Befuddled.
Yes, befuddled if you like. I will take that as well, because I am.
Yeah, Valheim is a hero that they actually played and excel on in the Dragon Lane. We've seen that with, for example, Sir Muster in Latin America, with a specific build that actually allows him to really spike hard in the mid lane. So I feel like Lilu will probably go with that Clav Sancti, Fafnir's Talon build that allows him to put a lot of pressure in Dragon Lane.
And it's interesting you talk about that, because that big mid-game spike is probably Team Queso's best chance. Like I said, I feel like if Cream fall devastatingly behind in the early/mid, I don't see a whole bunch of tools for them to get back in the game, because they don't have a frontline tank. So that's going to be very difficult for them to turn around fights if they can just be blown up. But if Team Queso get to the late game against Cream Esports, Cream have such good team fights. I don't think there's a hope to win them against that.
I guess coming into this game as Queso, you wouldn't underestimate your opponents because they're so, high up in the table as well. But you came here realizing you are joint top and you have a chance to lead this season now, and which they are because of that first win.
They're taking a risk. They're saying, we can close this game quick, and we can close it decisively.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're experimenting, but putting Baldum in solo lane with Yavix on the Dragon lane, or sorry, Slayer lane, is actually pretty interesting. It's worked out really well for them, because if you're out of position and you have a Baldum or a teaming with an net, they can actually double CC you. Then you have a Valheim on top of that, you end it with Ryoma. That's actually pretty scary. I like Team Queso's composition and how they put it together.
Well, they had a really good first game. Can they get a second one, or do we get another 1-all out of our Valor Series Week 7? Let's find out. Cream and Queso with TJ and Sujay.
A quick early game, a dominant mid game. Our TQ's hopes. Should we get late, I do feel Cream Esports have the edge.
Yeah, Cream Esports will have the edge because of Alex P on Kali. You cannot underestimate how he plays Kali. And of course, one of his best mage heroes is actually Tulin, so if anyone knows how to play against a Tulin, it's going to be Alex P.
Perhaps a little bit of experience from the other side, leveraged by the player in mid there. The matchups in lane will be that Richter from Oxy shifted down bottom to face Lilu on the Valheim. Up top, Boldum into Varus.
You can see there, Lilu is putting so much pressure, like you said, against the Valheim because Valheim has that range, but if Richter uses his abilities correctly with his passive, he can actually outplay the Valheim.
Bot lane, it does get dangerous, but in the mid, the Noob and Memorized are having a little poke battle of their own.
You can see there, like we talked about, Memorized and Ruiz there. They're always together, putting so much pressure in that mid lane, which allows him to get some river control. But in this case, I like how Noob is rotating with Frost here as he finishes jungle and helping Oxy get that Seagull, Vision Seagull.
Oh, that's nice from Memorized. Ibuchichi with the punish. Ooh. They've got first blood. Ruiz able to grab the Noob.
Yeah, what an interesting positioning by the Noob there. He also burned his flicker as well and still couldn't survive and Memorize, where playing with the wing cuffs worked out for him really well.
It was beautiful. Ooh, oh, Frost, that's almost as good though. Big three-man stun, but Hot goes too far forward. A little big for his boots and pays for it with his HP bar.
Yeah, everyone burns their flicker there. They have to back up their low. Team Queso knows that, and that's going to be a free dragon to Team Queso. Again, their rotations, their counter engages, their picks are working so well for them.
I said dominant early, strong mid. They need to close probably prior to 15 minutes. Right now, they're on pace to do exactly that.
Doing a very good job as well. You can see the aggressive positioning of Ruiz there, constantly putting pressure in that mid lane. Look at him.
Woo! My God. 1v2 and he just keeps going.
Yeah, and that's what makes Tuin so flexible. He can just literally escape with his mobility there after he puts so much aggression from his Iron Blast.
This is fun. Boldum's actually not bad into that Varus up in the top lane.
Yeah, surprisingly, Boldum Slayer lane is working really well, TJ. That's something that we don't see very often. Team Queso put out game 1, and then now game 2. With the build that he's building, the wave clear, he's actually working pretty well for them.
Lilu does land a stun down bottom. That's going to force Cream Esports to play a little bit back, but they have 3 players here, which I don't know if TQ knew about. Now they certainly do. Lilu's being cautious.
Yeah, the good news though, Frost is not that behind right now. He's ahead of his opponent jungler. 1.8k gold. He's taking lane farm, and I think that's a very smart strategy to try to get your width to that late game phase.
Ooh, this gets dangerous for Yavex, but he's got the moves. He'll stay safe, dancing back and forth.
Definitely a good disengage there from Yavex, and an interesting position from Alex P using his Ethereal Pulse there at that angle. It didn't barely landed any of those at all.
A little bit rough of an ult use, I agree. And it will cost them a little bit of tower damage in mid, down bottom. In case they'll pick up their first tower of the game, the early game Valheim power demonstrated. And it's actually still pretty dicey down in the bottom lane, because Oxy has to drift back.
I love the rotations. You can see Oxy drifting back, and then that gives him a forward momentum to then steal the jungle and take it away. This is what Team Queso does. Bit by bit at time, they clean the jungle, and Dragon, guess what, spawns just at the right time. I guess that was a coincidence. No, it's actually
perfect timing.
Perfect
It's
timing.
all planned. Team Queso get a second Dragon. Their gold is bursting at the seams of their bank account.
Yeah, poor Dragon, TJ. You just appear, and then you die in like 2 seconds later. I feel bad for him.
I had a really dark joke, but I'm not gonna. Memorized will play safe, drifting back as Oxy and the Noob push forward.
Yeah, the Noob, it's very interesting on this Sephiroth. You know, that's why I love them to pick the Baldwin, because, again, he struggles in the early game, and then the late game, it's going to be very interesting, because if he puts himself out of position that he's known to do, and his team doesn't follow up, then the Noob can actually be more of a liability than an asset to his team. And that's why I love him on Baldwin, because Baldwin works out much better with his playstyle.
Noob, Oxy, Frost, Alex P, the 4 players for Cream Esports now in mid to face off. Noob trying to make this Sephiroth work, but not really going to do a whole lot of damage until the late game. That's a lot of focus, though, and Ibuchichi capitalized on it, burning down Frost. Tides of Life are there. They've got the turn, perhaps Water Wall. Ibuchichi's in trouble. It's a 1-1 trade in mids.
What a sneaky play by Oxy there. That was Ibuchichi. He got the Willing Blade Sun, Spectral Ire Ultimate, and boom, Frost just like that disappears.
But he goes down instantly in trade, meaning that they don't actually gain anything for it. That's jungler for jungler.
Correct, and that's actually not a good thing, actually, because of how he stayed around that fight and tried to get another kill, which allowed Cream, Alex P to capitalize on that trade.
And not only did TQ have the lead, but they also need the early game victory, which means that everything that stalls out, trades even, is in favor of Cream Esports.
And we know Ryoma, he falls off pretty hard in the late game. All he does, and he's useful for, is landing that Willing Blade stun, getting his ult off, and then just running away, because the build that they normally put on Ryoma is a pretty squishy one.
Might Golem will be the focus. TQ are able to grab it. Cream Esports are in the area with a stun on the Memorized, but that's not the target they want.
And look, just like that, they take the jungle, they have it on timer, they rotate to Dragon. They have repeated this same exact rotation for a second time, which allows them their early game advantage here. And that's exactly how you want to play your early game, is deny jungle.
Really good jungle efficiency from Team Queso. And now they rotate down bottom, where Cream Esports thought they might be able to get something with pressure up against the tower. Cream have a double push up top as well. Frost and Hot will drift off safely, but the same cannot be said up top, where the noob does confirm the kill with 3 allies and a bit of tower damage to boot.
Yeah, what a nice rotation. Javix did a good job. They're going to get the tower here. They need to get it now before them in, and they do.
Narrowly. Lilu arrives in time to see it go down. That could have gotten very dangerous, meaning it's a tower back to Cream, and a little bit of that late mid-game scale that I was talking about. We're starting to run up against Team Queso, hitting the end of their runway.
Yeah, Cream is staying right into it, because they know Team Queso's runway is starting to run short, TJ, and their runway is starting to extend into this late game. Lilu just finished Helga's Edge, gives them more CC, but then again, lacking the damage, because think about it, who is the damage dealer on Team Queso? It's just their mage, who is the Tulin. And if they allow this Wisp to catch up, it's going to be big trouble.
They're relying on the Tulin to do their damage in the late game, because the Valheim will fall off. Javix down bottom isn't falling off, though. He'll manage to survive all that and keep the tower up top. Lilu grabs Oxy, Team Queso get a tower. Still not over for them.
Yeah, Oxy struggling a lot in both games, game 1 and game 2, getting ganked a lot. Team Queso putting so much pressure, rotating through jungle, denying it, and taking another tower. 2 towers now in the top lane. Their early game victory isn't out of the question yet. I said the 15-minute mark is really kind of the end of the road for them. We're only approaching 10 minutes now, and Cream Esports are still in a lot of trouble as TQ have picture-perfect jungle rotations again. The noob trying to steal this Darkslayer does have vision. Frost is nearby, but it's not in time. Ibuchichi's got it, and now the noob's in trouble. He'll have to bail with the tides of life, and narrowly gets out. I mean, what a decisive play by Team Queso there. They knew exactly what to do. Rotate through, get a kill on Oxy, take the tower, rotate jungle, clear it out, and then rush the Darkslayer immediately. That is split-second decision-making. You can tell they have practiced really hard. They're doing a lot of scrims. And
this Epistle will go over to Cream, a little bit back in their favor, but you can see a lot of damage there. Ibuchichi with Javix will claim first blood. There is a response, but Memorized cuts it off. Thunderbird's there. Frost is low. Ruiz has the kill. Hot's the only survivor, and Javix even tries to intercept him, successfully slowing him down. Flicker's spent, but Ruiz is on the case.
Wow, what a play by Memorizer. Those wind cuffs saved the fight and turned it around in their favor. Then the rotation by Ruiz down to help.
The noob can't hold this. There's no way he has enough damage. He'll go in, desperately trying to get the AoE, but he's just obliterated.
Look at that combo, and look at the build. The Mantle of Raw, Odin's armor, doing some damage there, but I love the timing of that Thunderbird ultimate from Ruiz there with Javix engaging.
Oxy will take the front lines now, full committing to the fight, but he's got to flicker away before long. This is all about wave clear now, and they've lost a major source of it as Oxy gets melted. Team Queso keep pushing. They've got the high ground tower completely gone. They've got Hot isolated. He can't even get the kill onto Javix, and Oxy keeps diving. He overextends, and he too is gone.
Yeah, this is so bad for Cream right now. Frost just showed up and just disappeared under his high ground tower, TJ. He's got to be careful. And Noob, you're in trouble as well.
Tides of light, Ruiz the focus. Thunderbird will not connect. The Noob's able to stay alive, but the core focus is there, and Alex P can't save it. Team Queso want to and will pick up game number 1 in under 15 minutes.
Yeah, and just like that, we saw Cream kind of make a comeback. We thought they were going to